This is ESPN Esports. I'm Arda Ocal. Happy to be joined by Raes, who's the bot laner for Legacy Esports. They just defeated INTZ in the play-ins. Very fun matchup to watch as a viewer, Raes. But what was it like as a player?
As a player, it was extremely stressful, especially when you're like one of the most important players in the game, and I'm just keep getting caught out. And I made the game pretty hard for my team, but I'm really happy that we managed to pull it out and my team managed to carry my weight.
It seems like jungle's very important as a position in this world's meta. Babip went 9-2-5 on Nidalee, and he's very well versed in Nidalee. He played it very well in Oceania this last split. Like, just talk about his play, and in particular, him on Nidalee as a champion.
Nid's even when it was out of meta, like years ago, or like his entire life, I'd say Nid has been his best champ. So the fact that it's like in meta right now, it's really good for him, and carry meta just suits him so well. He used to be, well, for like the last 2 years, he's played with such like stacked teams, and they usually have carry players. So he's been relegated to like these tank roles, especially in the metas where it's mainly tanks. But to finally be in a meta where like the carry junglers are so potent and it's important, this is just really good for him, and I'm happy for him.
What about the morale of the team? Obviously, it's great to get that first win. How do you and the team feel going into the remainder of the play-in matchups?
Getting the first win, it feels really good. But we've been here before as just like a region. We usually always do good at the start, and even I've been here. I started 3-1 in like a 7-game round robin, and then we ended 3-4. So yeah, it just means just getting the first win means a lot. But we have 2 hard opponents in Mad and TL, and then we have Supermassive, the other wildcard or other minor region team. So we're looking at every team as a potential win, but we're definitely not going to get ahead of ourselves and let our confidence, go loose.
So obviously we're based in America. We had a lot more conversation about Oceania this year with the players that came through, Ryoma being an example. But like, just talk to me about that pride of representing Oceania and, not necessarily having the best results at Worlds historically. Like, how much of a point of pride is it for you and your teammates to well represent the region?
Definitely means a lot to represent OS and hopefully be one of the first teams to put on a performance that everyone can be proud of, including like the team going. So yeah, if we could just like finally do that, if this could be the year, that'd be like so amazing for us, and I'd be so happy to be the team doing it.
So pull back the curtain a little bit. On broadcast, the studio looks amazing, and there's this giant pit in the middle of the screen. And during your bow, the audience is always concerned that the players are going to step a little bit too far and fall into the abyss. Pull the curtain for us. Is there like a marker there that they tell you not to step beyond?
There's a line in front of like the clouds, and they told us like very specifically, if you go past that, you will look like you're falling off the clouds. So yeah, they told us to make sure we just don't go past that line, and it won't look like we're in the air flying.
So it looks very impressive on broadcast, but what does it look like when you're in the room? Like, is it green screen everywhere? What does it look like?
It doesn't look like a green screen. It actually looks like very similar to what it looks like on the broadcast. So yeah, there's no like, it's not obvious to us that there's just an illusion going on, because it actually looks it looks almost the same, I would say, IRL, but I'd have to think about it more actively next time to see if it actually looks the exact same, but I'm pretty sure it does.
So take me into even getting to this point. I mean, obviously you had to quarantine, every player did, and staff did as well. Like, what was that process like for you?
Quarantine for me was, I thought I would enjoy it after living with the same team for just 8 months straight and never getting room to myself. But then, after like a week, solo queue was going not so well for me. I was just getting sick of the food and the air in the room. I just was getting bad sleep. So especially towards the end, my mental was taking a toll on me. But now that we're in hotel, everything's good. I feel much better now.
Was there not much selection among the food in the quarantine area?
We were allowed to choose our own option of food, but we weren't allowed to change it. But I wouldn't say, we got the foods at scheduled times, and then people had different sleep schedules, so maybe they wouldn't like want to eat at that time, or maybe the food came late and it was like cold. But yeah, I'll just say it's hard for people who are like picky eaters, and I'd say I'm a pretty picky eater, so it was just hard for me to adapt to the food, at least, I guess.
You mentioned the solo queue earlier. I'm very curious about the super server. If you were to describe it in one word, what would it be and why?
It's just extremely. It's like the most aggressive server you've probably ever played on. Side lanes don't exist. Even outer turrets in the side lane, like after 20 minutes, after 30 minutes, the turret probably still is there. Like they actually don't care about it, especially in the elo I'm playing in. After a certain amount of time, like people will just start running down mid, and then if there's a Rift Herald up or Dragon, then there's going to be a team fight around that. Like you can't avoid it. So you just have to be at every fight. Like you always have to be active on the map, moving. I would say this actually has like a big influence on the meta, since jungle and solo queue. In solo queue, it's like not as good as this because every jungler just gets fed every game since there's so many fights, and they usually capitalize the most off this. So yeah, I'd say the solo queue has a big influence on, especially like LPL meta. It's just solo queue, like junglers are the carry of the team, and at this meta, it looks like jungler is also the main carry. So yeah, it definitely has a big influence.
Last question for you, just going back to the studio atmosphere. Obviously, there's no audience, there's no crowd watching. Yep. Just tell me a little bit about what it was like playing such an important game at Worlds on the big stage with nobody around really to watch you.
Obviously, every team or every region has played for a while in a situation like this where they play in their home, so there's no crowd, and we've also done that. So I mean, in the O studio we never had a crowd, so it's pretty much the same thing. But yeah, the stage is really sick. I'm really happy to be playing on a stage again finally, because I would say I just feel more comfortable on stage, especially when I get into the game. But even then, even in this game I just played, where I played really bad, I still felt comfortable. I wasn't like nervous or under pressure. So it feels really good to play on stage again.
Raes joining us here on ESPN Esports. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank
and
you.
Continued success.